Fallout from that fatal Southwest flight. Southwest is canceling dozens of flights per day over engine inspections. This as airline regulators are calling for emergency Boeing 737 engine checks. To former U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Transportation Oliver McGee on if this should be a concern for flyers. Oliver, we had gone 9 years without any U.S. fatalities, and so, of course, anytime something like this happens, it gets our attention. Are they doing enough?
Well, yes, they are. This is the first time we've had a fatality on Southwest Airlines in its 51-year history. And people are asking right now, is this going to happen to me next time I get on an airplane? They're wondering what happened here. And really, what we're talking about is this is a 1 in a million chance. So you can be sure that the air plate system is safe. But also, Southwest is stepping up, and so is the FAA. They're looking at inspections for fatigue cracking. We're talking about the micro aging of aircraft, micro cracks that are hard to see. And when this blade broke off, we essentially had a blade salad in the engine, tore off the nacelle, and then it went through the fuselage, and that's unacceptable for safety reasons. So they're stepping up and looking at this. This is a long-standing decades of program on the aircraft structural integrity program developed by the great late Jack Lincoln at the U.S. Air Force. And so we're really looking very closely at using the advancements in nano and micro technologies to look at cracks.
Well, let me ask you, though, before we get to the part with cracks, and you say 1 in a million, I mean, if there's 40 million flights a year, that you know, and I know you were just being, you know, you're throwing out a number, but it still seems like, you know, for the average person out there, you hit an air pocket, you start to wonder. What caused the blade to come off? Or is there something with the belt? I read something about a belt, and I'm thinking immediately to the old car, you know, the belts that used to wear in the cars and how quickly they would wear, and how do you monitor for something like that?
Well, essentially, I always say in my class on aircraft structures at Texas Tech, I say an aircraft engine is a controlled bomb. It's a high-energy system rotating at high rates of speed, 10,000 RPMs typically in the front fan engines. And sometimes these blades are subject to high cycle fatigue, metal fatigue going for overuse. And sometimes that's associated with micro cracks that exist in these blading. When that blade breaks off, then you have a high energy projectile that can break through the nacelle. But this engine was designed to contain all of that, like you have at General Electric and Rolls-Royce.
So Oliver, how much more work, or how much of this calls for more rules or perhaps regulations from the FAA, or how much of this is just incumbent upon the airlines themselves to do more screening to step up their processes, maybe add another layer or two to it?
I think you're right, Charles. Another layer is necessary, but also this is a critical infrastructure that we are looking at as we look at the nation's infrastructure under President Trump. We're looking at advances in science and technology, and we're going to be looking closely at new materials, new genomic materials, and also looking at not only nanotechnologies, but going into what I call for a national quantum physics initiative that essentially looks at how new materials move and change at the quantum level and the micro level. So then molecular level, that is. Right. And so we're going to be really talking about how we look at new detection technologies, non-destructive evaluation technologies, so that we can see a crack that we can't see. Not all cracks are created equal, and not all flaws are created equal. So we need to advance those technologies that are developed by Jack Lincoln in the structural programs by the U.S. Air Force, and then be able to get better at this.
Between now and then, this future that you're talking about, which sounds amazing,
yes.
Are we using these planes too often? I mean, they land, they clean them up, and they turn them back around. You know, what level of comfort should our viewers take with the current situation?
I think our viewers can be rather comfortable because this is really a 1 in 1 millionth of a chance of happening. But also, Charles, your question is very excellent because we always have to be in touch with where we're going here insofar as making sure that we have these non-destructive evaluation detection technologies advanced, and that we use what we've learned from the military for the commercial air fleet. And this is all about critical infrastructure.
Oliver McGee, thank you very much. We always learn a lot. Whenever you're around, I take out my pen and I'm trying to take notes, but I couldn't even spell half the things that you said. Thank you very much.